What's up, everybody? This is Tanner from TanmanBaseballFan.com. I've been talking a lot about like really rare cards and everything recently, and like the super hard to find ones and everything. Those are blast, but there's so much more of a story when it comes to like the actual cards that we grew up with. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to go through this binder. Somebody actually sent me this. They gave me this binder with a bunch of Conseco cards in them. And so these are probably the vast majority of my base cards. And so it started off with, which is kind of cool, is this Beckett Monthly. And you have the 90 Leaf Conseco there on the front. And then you've got Greg Jeffries on the back. And by the way, like, if y'all collected back then, you remember that Greg Jeffries was a big deal. And let's see if I can look up what his, while we're in it, we're just take a look at some cards here. So 81 Fleer, Ricky Henderson, $16 and going up. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. I used to live and die by those up and down arrows every month, guys. Like 87 Donruss Jose Canseco for $11 and going up, which is funny. Because like you think about this, I have in this binder 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that that page would have been at least $55 back then, which is crazy. See about the Diamond King, how much that was selling for. Should be at the very top, $1.50. So Ruben Sierra, $7. I mean, I remember the 87 Fleer was like a big set, like a really big deal. Kevin Mitchell in this, guys, is $10 and going up. Barry Bonds, $8 and going up. Bobby Bonilla, $6 and going up. The Will Clark rookie is $35. I mean, man, like this. Oh, here's a picture of the 87 Fleer Killer Bees there, which is really cool. So I remember this was really funny. I was actually just thinking about this the other day, so I'm glad that this shows right here. So take a look at who's number 2 on the hot list there. I'm not sure if you can read it or not. Jose Canseco. Now look at who's number 10 on the cold list. Jose Canseco. I don't know if that was standard fare for back then, but like having one player is both hot and cold, that perfectly sums up Jose in his in his prime, and not just in his prime, but like through his whole career. Let me see how much an 86 Donruss was selling for. 84 Fleer update, y'all, like $525 for the set and going up, and the Clemens was $135 and going up. Let's see, the 86 Donruss rated rookie. Yeah, so here we go. $125 with the up arrow. So that's a pretty big deal right there. And one more before we get into the actual cards here. 89 Upper Deck Griffey. I'm just kind of curious what it was. And because, by the way, for context, this is October 1990. So 89 Upper Deck Griffey. $25. And so there was somebody that said that called to issue me saying that that the Conseco was like the biggest card of its time, like in that time period. And some people said, well, the 89 Upper Deck Griffey is actually bigger. I said, well, yeah, it's bigger now. Back then, the mania was so much bigger for the Conseco Rare Rookie than it was the Griffey. So interesting times, very interesting times. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of go through a few of these pages. I have so many memories on these, but also there's a lot of them that I don't have memories at all, because there are some cards like beyond like basically 1994. I think I probably don't really have many memories on, because I just wasn't really into collecting then. So like here's an A7 Fleer. A7 Fleer right there. I'd like to take a look at the price in 1990. So if the A7 Donruss was 11 bucks, how much is the A7 Fleer? And this was me like all the time as a kid. Hey, you know, how much is this worth or whatever? Let's see how much. I would imagine it'd be more than the A7 Donruss. Let me see here. Number 389. Yeah, $13.50. So that was a big deal. And now it's just, you know, nothing really, you know, to write home about. And the thing is that grading has actually brought those prices up way higher. If you have a PSA 10 of an A7 Fleer or A7 Donruss Conseco, it's probably going to be, you know, way more than the actual cost of what it is raw in the Beckett from the junk wax era, which is crazy to me. I mean, that's just insane. So here's an A7 Topps Mini. So it looks like what they did, let me see, I'm sure I've got a Rookie Cup card in here, because what they did is it looks like they snapped a picture a few seconds after they used the one for the A7 Topps card regular. Is there any A7 Topps in here? Yeah, I might not have one in here. But anyways, it's kind of fun when you see little variations, because everybody knows what this looks like. You know what? I actually do have something down here, which would go along with this quite nicely. Just got to dig. And I think this is it. Okay. So here, take a look at this. This is the photo that Topps used for the A7 Topps Rookie Cup Conseco. So really cool piece there. So if you take a look, it's very similar, right? You see that? So, and he's actually, you could tell when you look down here. So first of all, it looks like he's, you know, just sitting on the bench, right? Well, take a look. This tells the rest of the story. He's actually has his foot likely on the top step of the dugout or something, or the middle step. So it's pretty cool, and nobody really knows that, which is kind of a neat thing there. So, anyways, going forward here, I want to tell you guys, like, they really started doing some cool things with cards after I got out of collecting as a kid. Like, here's one. This is a 95, 96, 97. Is that 97? I don't think they'd have a Red Sox card for 97. Anyways, it's a Donruss Elite, and you know, of him on the Red Sox. Very nice foil finish. I mean, I didn't get anything like this when I was a kid. I mean, that would have been very, very nice. What I'm used to is stuff like this. Conseco and Wally Joyner together, you know. And I think that's probably one of the things that's really helped the hobby recently, is that there's such a low cost of entry to get back into your childhood nostalgia. At least there used to be. But anyways, for wax packs and wax boxes, like you could pick up a you know, box of 89 Topps or something like that, if it's not like wrapped or something like that, for 10 bucks or whatever. So it's easy to, number one, for kids back then, to get a pack for 50 cents and really kind of enjoy it, because it wasn't a high-end thing back then. And number two, to go back and almost feel like they can dominate their childhood. Like you keep thinking whenever you buy these cards, you're like, oh man, if only 12-year-old me could see me now or something, you know. And so that's kind of how I think sometimes. But anyway, so here's one. This is a big deal when I was growing up. The 91 Stadium Club. And I remember these were cool because they part of the selling point for this card was, a Stadium Club altogether, was that they were using like Kodak photo paper or something like that to make these. But it was a big deal to say that they're using Kodak in some capacity. And the picture's always stellar when it comes to Stadium Club. I mean, it was back then just like it is now. On the back, you'd have a picture of the Topps rookie card, which was very innovative for its time. So, and then here's another one that's not really that I'm not familiar with as a kid. This looks like it's 95, I guess. Yeah, 95. And this is Leaf Limited. And this is a base card, but look how beautiful it is. That could have easily have been like a chase card, you know, back then. But, you know, from the late 80s or early 90s. I mean, it's a beautiful card. But it's just base, you know, not really worth much. But still really neat. I mean, just a really neat card. Here's another one. I don't have, like, I probably would have fallen out of my chair if I could have had like a crystal ball back in 93 to see what would happen, and saw Jose Canseco here on a cool card with the foil in the back and everything like that as a member of the Yankees. But also take a look at this. On the side, it says he's part of the Anaheim Angels. So that probably would have blown my mind back then to find out like what would have happened, you know, to him. So here's another one, which is really cool. Another one that I just have no ties to from a nostalgia perspective, except for the nostalgia ties that I'm creating and have created over the past 15 years or so. And I think a lot of you all are in that situation too, where you're getting the feels from whatever you've picked up in the last 15 years instead of just being a kid. So Midsummer Classic, SP Authentic. Again, just a beautiful card and not really worth a whole lot, but beautiful anyways. I mean, we as collectors are so fortunate to have really, really nice cards that are really not worth, that don't cost a whole lot. I mean, it's just that's a great card. And then of course if we're gonna mix new and old, this right here is probably, like, what's represented on here is probably the reason why there's so many people that love Jose, his 40-40 season. And it says speed and power, and this 89 Fleer card just basically tells the entire story. I mean, which is really, really neat. So, and I mean, man, we've got like tons of cards just to enjoy. That there's, I mean, and if one drops, it's not a big deal because it's not really worth a whole lot. But look at this. I actually have a parallel of this. It's numbered to 33. That's die cut gold, hollow foil, and everything. But look at just how nice this card itself is. Really cool. Really, really cool. Let me see if there's anything else that can stands out. So here's another one. This is a card that to me represents a lot of different types of cards. This is 86, I think. So this would be considered a rookie of his. 86 Fleer, baseball's best. And so what Fleer would do is they would actually put out these box sets. Sluggers versus pitchers, baseball MVPs, Topps and Score did that sort of thing also. But anyway, so this is one of those cards that a lot of them were produced, but not nearly as many probably as the regular A6 Fleer, which is really kind of a neat thing. Here's another one. This is baseball's best, Sluggers versus pitchers. Has Jose looking at his bat. And then another one from my childhood, straight from my childhood, guys, that I have all kinds of feels for right here. 89 Donruss, 40-40 Club. I remember being at my friend's house looking at his cards down the street. Like, we would trade all the time. He's like 4 houses down or something. Giants fan, along with his brother. And, you know, this card was in there. And I just remember looking, going, man, it's such a cool card. Like, you have the gold jersey. It actually says 40-40 on the front. I mean, that's so neat. So just a really, really cool card. And by the way, Donruss did a series of buybacks. I'm not sure if you're into buybacks or not, but what they would do is they would take these cards, they're virtually worthless basically, aside from sentimental value, and have the player, like Jose, sign it and stamp it. So they would take this one, for instance, and let's say they made a print run of 18 of them or something. I don't know. There are a couple of these in buyback form, I think. And they would put the serial stamp on the back here and randomly insert them in packs. And, people go crazy over those. More so back then, not nearly as much now, since Topps has actually created actual products of buyback cards. But Donruss and SP especially, really, really cool that they did that. Really, really neat cards. And it's a way to kind of like make something that's super common from your childhood to be like more special. I think that's probably why a lot of people grading cards, is because it takes something from their childhood and it makes it that much more special if it's like a PSA 10 or something like that, so that's kind of my thought anyway. But another card here that I don't really have any real ties to, but it is beautiful. Blue Jays Prism. There's a number of parallels of this card as well. Just a great card. Just a great looking card. 91 Studio. This was a different kind of card. This is, it's black and white and the players are actually posed and everything. It looks like one of those, what do you call those? Like Ole Mills, like a school book picture or something, which is kind of cool. There's just like a lot here, and it's fun to go through these and see. Let me do 3 more cards here. So this one is really cool. This is a 96 Metal Universe. I think this is right after Marvel bought Fleer and Skybox and all that. And they had their designers go in to do some crazy cool things. It's foil, and this is the base card. Like, I don't think they did another version of this, but take a look at that. I mean, it's just really neat. Really neat card. So let's do 2 more. And I might pull out this binder another time as well, but let's make these last couple count. Oh, okay, so here is probably one of the most notable cards from my childhood, is the 89 Topps Jose Canseco. And I had a lesson that I talked about in the book that I wrote, Confessions of a Baseball Card Addict. Check it out on Amazon. That I went to a card shop and I was determined to get this card like all week. I had my my allowance and I was ready to go and get this one card. I was so excited. Go to the card shop and it wasn't there. It's like, what? So I ended up having to get, actually, let me see. Let me end up on this if I have it here. I don't know if I do, but I ended up having to settle on here we go. On this card here. 89 score. I was bummed that I had to come to grips with the fact that just because I had the money didn't mean that I could get the cards. Probably the first time I ever learned when it came to baseball cards that there are cards that you just can't get if you think it's just about money. And it was all about an 89 Topps Conseco. Well, guess what? Here you go, 9-year-old Tanner. You have both of them now. So in your face there. But anyways, as you can see, I finally picked up the 89 Topps Conseco, but I don't know, like the 89 score, I grew to love this card also. I mean, it's just really neat. So these are 2 that are just really, really monumental for my childhood. I didn't have any kind of money to even consider dreaming about the Ray Rookie or any of these other big time cards back then. This was kind of my wheelhouse, and it's funny because like I was completely fine. I was just completely satisfied and content with these, and here I am, along with quite possibly you as well, and many other of our fellow collectors that are hunting down the 1-of-1s and the super rare ones as if they're gold, with no real nostalgia attached to them. Interesting how that works. Interesting how we jump from this to one of one that I have up there displayed. But this binder is just full of smiles for me. Like, I just love this stuff. I think this is so cool. It's fun to take time out of the workday and just, kind of look through them and just enjoy and reminisce on, the trades that might have happened to get these cards to begin with, or the feeling of pulling out a 1991 Donruss card out of a pack in Christmas of 1990, and just being excited about that and everything. So not just Conseco, but like Griffey and McGuire and Ricky Henderson, Dennis Eckersley. Jose was always my favorite player, but I loved all of the big players. Like, I just had so much love for all these guys, and it was a fun time. It was a very fun time, and very thankful that the hobby has gotten way more interesting and exciting. And so I guess that's why I like to do weird things like get on YouTube for a half hour and talk about them, and write a book about them, and have a podcast and all that. It's fun. It's exciting stuff, and comforting, kind of. Maybe these are like my security blanket or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure what it is, but I could literally go for probably a couple more hours just talking about these cards in this binder alone. But I will go ahead and stop. It looks like we're about 21 and a half minutes in. So I guess try to make this, how can I make this a little interactive for you? Like, I want to ask questions like, what cards from your childhood do you remember? What stand out to you? What is your 89 score and 89 tops? And what role does nostalgia play in collecting the new cards that you might not have known about because they didn't exist from when you were a kid? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. But anyways, thanks for watching and sticking with me and hanging out and going through an old price guide from 30 years ago and go through some junk wax cards. It's been fun, and I think we need to do this again very soon. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.